Y'all exhausted yet?
Yes.
Not bad.
First question. I was listening to you in the other room,
Yeah.
and somebody asked you a question about opening up with an Oklahoma State as opposed to Jacksonville or somebody like that, Jackson State. I thought your answer was pretty good. Would you share that with this group again?
Sure. I just, when you do that, you get into, the first part of my answer was this. I said I'll find out the day after the game whether it was a good idea or not, but how it affects. But it brings a much bigger sense of urgency to training camp. You come in, I think training camp, a lot of the guys that come in, and the players, obviously are focused on the season as a whole in training camp and their development and looking at the big picture of the season. When you come in and you're playing a national game week 1, I think the sense of urgency amongst your team greatly increases. They're looking at training camp as, at the end of training camp, we're playing one of the most important games of the year, not let's get through training camp, develop, and then we'll get ourselves into the season part of it. It's always in the back of your mind when you're going to play that big of a game. Now, you still have to accomplish what you need to accomplish in training camp, and it can't be all focused on just that one game. But I do think it can certainly help the team out too, because with a young team that we have this year, that sense of urgency they're going to have. They know as soon as this camp ends, they better be ready to play from that opening kickoff.
Added incentive for you as well, especially with the way the season went last year and then the bowl game against Northwestern.
Yeah, you know what I do. I think our guys were not pleased with the end of the season and how it went last year. It's always hard. You want to play in New Year's Day bowl games, but the issue with that, you're playing really good teams. So played a great team in Northwestern to finish off the season. And when you don't finish the season with a win, sometimes this is the first time since I've been the head coach we haven't finished the season with a win. And you look at it, and coming off a win, you're always kind of on that high note coming into the off season. You're building up on all that good feeling. I do think that there's a little chip on our guys' shoulders of how that finishing the season with a loss that's left a bad taste in their mouth, and they're ready to get back out there on the field and play.
Coach, when I visited with you guys before on campus, we talked about changing the culture at Mississippi State and having these guys believe and really laying that foundation. Can you talk a little bit about how you continue to do that and how you further that mantra? Well,
one of the things we look at, and just the university as a whole and our whole program coming in there is that, our guys believing that we're going to win a championship at Mississippi State. And, might be this year. Might be a couple next year. It might be 3 years from now. But we're building a foundation to win a championship, and to do that, you have to consistently win. And we've been able to do that. Very rarely do you see a championship team that came from nowhere to win the championship. It's a team that's this team's been winning eight games every year. Because for us now, when 8 games becomes the norm, a great season is 11 wins. When you win 8 games as your norm, and that's kind of the expectation. You go to a great season, would be 11 wins. Well, that's putting you in championship contention at this point. And we've been able to do it. And everybody, I think, when we got there, everyone has bought in. And that's been the key. We have 22 or 23 consecutive sellouts now. We're expanding the stadium, adding about 12 to 15,000 seats onto the stadium, bowling in the end zone. We just moved into a brand new 88,000 square foot Leo Seal football complex. And I think not just the players, the university, everybody has changed their expectations. I've always had extremely high expectations for our program from day one. But I think now those expectations have gone outside of our office, through our campus, through our alumni, through our fan base, that their expectations now of winning is very, very different.
And is there any one thing you do in particular to pump your team up to get them geared up for the games?
You know what they do. I kind of let our leadership guys on the team do it. One thing that people laugh at, you come to our locker room, we turn the music off 6 minutes before kickoff. And a lot of teams will be like, okay, 20 minutes before kickoff, all the music's off. And personally, I was a guy I like to kind of quiet and sat to myself before kickoff. But that's really not fair, and it kind of can become an uptight, uncomfortable situation for the guys that don't like it quiet before kickoff. So if you like it quiet, you can go sit around the corner in your locker and have your own little quiet time. But the other guys, I let them, our locker room is rocking. 6 minutes before kickoff, that music is pumping. They're all jumping around in the middle of the locker room. They're all pumped up, ready to go.
Kind of going back to what Rachel asked, could you kind of back in and compliment now that you go 8-5? It's like, yeah, okay, that was nice. We kind of wanted more. So you kind
I think it is. I think it's a good thing. It's where I want to be as a program. You know, where 8-5 right now is considered a good year. That's that foundation. That to me shows that our program is headed in the right direction, and the pressure to now keep it. You go 8-5 and you play New Year's Day you're 8-4 regular season going to a New Year's Day Gator Bowl. Okay, that's good. That's kind of what we expect now. That puts you in a position to continue to take the next steps that you need to take. So, I mean, our fans now have gone from, Coach, I hope we make a bowl game this year, to, Coach, we better be spending somewhere warm New Year's. I expect to be in a beautiful location for New Year's. So